Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the specific area of AFM, Accounting and Financial Management for Bankers. Actually, I hope I'm audible as well as clearly visible, everyone. Let's talk about the specific area of our particular session that we are currently having. It is Champions AFM, and today I'm going to talk about a very important area which is actually called the capital and revenue expenditure. Acha, everyone, we'll be talking about this particular area, capital and revenue expenditure. Then we'll move forward towards the specific area in terms of the MCQs as well. So stay tuned and be there in the entire session so that we can go through the details of the entire topic. Okay, so everyone, let's continue. Everyone, first of all, please share the session and like the session as well. And if you are there in the session, then please subscribe to the channel because this particular year's session have just started, and this would be really helpful for you if you look forward to it. Taken? Okay. Now, chaliye. Now, when we talk about the specific topic there, we're talking about introduction to expenditure. What do you mean by the specific expenditure? See, expenditure is what? Expenditure means if I'm spending money on this particular pen, what is happening? I am spending money on this specific pen and I'm saying, कि देखिए, this particular pen costs me 10,000 rupees. Say this is my pen tab. Now the point is, everyone, I have a normal pen as well. Let's talk about a normal pen there. Okay. Look at this part. I've got this pen and I've got this pen. This pen is something I've been using from quite a long time. Okay. So basically what I do is the pen tab that I use, this is used in every class. And there is one more important point, pata hai? When I'm using this specific pen, this pen is something which is used in every single class. Along with this, I earn through this pen. There's a difference there. I don't earn through this pen. What I do is I just make notes and then I'm done with this pen altogether. But I use this pen in a normal day. Every single day I use this particular pen in order to earn money. This pen is something which is hardly 10 bucks, and this might be of a good amount. So let's talk about it. Let's take an approximate amount. It's like 5k. Okay, if this entire pen tab thing costs me around 10k, and this particular pen and the diary that I have possessed, it would be 200 or 300 rupees maximum altogether. So when we talk about it, what's the difference between the two? Do we really write both these things on the same lines? Is it really correct? It is not. The basic reason is, when we see, if I buy a car and if I buy a pack of biscuits, it won't be the same thing. When I buy a car, that car would be used every single day for the next at least 10 years. You get a registration, then obviously if we buy a car, at least 7 to 8 years, so we don't even think about selling the car, provided we are going to upgrade further. Right. So when we talk about this expenditure and everything, there's a clarity. What do you mean by expenditure? Expenditure means the money that you are spending. But is it spent on something which is consumption, or it is spent on something which increases your income? There's a difference behind it. And that is how we define the term expenditure. The capital expenditure and the revenue expenditure. Same thing goes for the receipts as well. The income that we talk about. Income is also based upon this thing. The income that we earn is from selling this particular pen. It's a capital receipt because this is through which I earn. While when we talk about this specific pen, this is something which I use on a daily basis, and then it's fine, right? So this will give me a very less amount in terms of money, while this one will still fetch me a good amount of money. There's a difference between the two. So when we talk about the area, what do we learn from this area, everyone? First of all, the expenditure is a payment for purchasing goods and services. It can be anything. All the expenses which are done in one particular, there's a rule in terms of income and in terms of expenditure that we do in order to earn profit this year. Everyone, in this particular year, I'm trying to earn profit. That is what I have to look forward to. That is what we talk about in terms of the matching concept. Matching concept says whatever money you are earning in one particular year, okay, on the basis of expenditure that you do and the incomes that you earn in that particular year itself, that is to be defined under the specific area altogether. Got the idea? Done? Now comes the next part. Okay, this is only the expenditure and income part. The next part talks about how do we determine what kind of expenditure it is. That would be based upon a few things. Number one is the nature of expenditure. Nature of expenditure means if I'm purchasing, see, if I say, but I've just bought a, how do you actually express it? It also makes a difference. If I say, but I just bought a car, buying a car is a big thing. So it won't be like, yeah, I just bought a car. It's absolutely fine. No, buying a car is a big thing for us. Why? Because you don't buy a car every day. That means these are not recurring in nature. But if I buy a pen, I won't even tell anybody, isn't it? So basically, when we talk about this thing in detail, purchase of goods and services, in this case, the revenue expenditure is a daily expenditure basic. While when we talk about capital expenditure, this is not something which happens on a daily basis. That is how we define that part. We talk about the effect on revenue. In terms of the effect on revenue, how do we look forward to? The expenditures increasing revenue for one accounting period are revenue expenditure, while those for more than one accounting period are capital expenditure. There's a difference. Okay, in terms of capital expenditure, it is for more than 1 year. I'm going to use this pen for a good amount of time, but I won't use that normal wali cheese. Then we have the purpose there. In terms of purpose, what do we have? Normal maintenance is revenue expenditure, while repairs are capital expenditure. Recurring nature, I would be spending money on this particular pen every now and then. I need these pens, right? But this is the just a one-time expenditure that I'll be doing, isn't it? So then can we define the expenditure on these three bases? Number one is capital expenditure. Number two is revenue expenditure. Number three is deferred revenue. What are the differences between the three? Capital expenditure, it means the expenditure that you are doing in order to buy an asset. Okay? Asset acquiring. And when we talk about the specific area of revenue expenditure means you are doing this expense to earn profit during the year. Earn profit during the year. Okay, and then is deferred revenue expenditure. There's a difference between revenue and deferred revenue. Deferred revenue means deferred is basically postponement. This is called postponement. How do we define the term postponement, everyone? Postponement is basically, I had some expenditure today, but the benefit of it is reaped over the period of time. Anything which benefits you over the period of time is called deferred revenue. Okay, so these are three types of expenditures from the basis of financial classification. This is super important when we talk about the gist of the capital and revenue expenditure altogether. Done, everyone? Chaliye. Now moving on, how do we define it? When we talk about the specific area of the capital and revenue expenditure, how does it work overall, everyone? How does it work exactly when we talk about this specific area? Acha, I think there are a few people in the live class as well. If you're there in the session, please go ahead and ask the questions even. I am with you live only so that you can ask about all these things. Everyone, there's one more point in case you are looking forward towards the class, and just go into the comment section and you can have a word with us directly in the comment section as well. And I hope you have already reviewed. If you open the specific area of the description portion, you will see there's something called JAIIB virtual library. Whatever classes we are taking now, all these classes are currently going to the specific area of the virtual library. Just click on the area of virtual library and then you can open it further. But provided if you are opening the virtual library, you should be downloading our app as well. That would be really helpful to you. Okay, so if you're downloading the app, then you can definitely benefit it more. So all you need to do is just fill all that particular thing. I actually opened the specific area. How does the virtual library work? So just below the description area, click on that virtual library wala part and download the particular PDF of this class as well. So that in case you are learning and doing all these things, you can definitely go ahead and look at these particular things later on as well. Not today only, but in the later portion, you will be able to review it in a better way. Okay, At least records of all these would be with you, no? So now let's talk about the capital expenditure. I've just talked about the spend. So in this case, what do you mean by this? In this case, expenditures that contribute to the revenue earning capacity of a business are called capital expenditure, because they help you to earn more. This pen helps me to earn more. That the other pen just helps to maintain what I'm earning. Right? The benefit period, the benefit occurs for more than one accounting period. It is for more than one accounting period. When we talk about the financial statement there, shown on the asset side of the balance sheet. When we talk about the financial statements, these are those statements, everyone, which are related to what? Financial statements are related to only the assets here. Capital expenditure means the money that you are spending in order to buy an asset. Totally opposite. When we talk about revenue expenditure, it is the expenditure that generates day-to-day revenue. The Wi-Fi expenditure that I'm doing, I don't get anything out of it, right? But I have done the expenditure on that specific thing. That means I am generating revenue through that specific thing. Matlab, I am able to generate funds through what? By the specific Wi-Fi that I've got, right? So this is something that we define as the specific area of revenue expenditure, the expenditure that you do in order to earn money on a daily basis. Nothing else but just daily basis. Done. Chaliye. Now let's move on to the next part. The benefit period, if I have a Wi-Fi expenditure will not even last a month. After a month, if I don't pay the Wi-Fi bill, then I won't be able to benefit myself through this. So benefit occurs for that particular accounting period. It is for that particular accounting period only. While financial statements shows on the debit side, it is trading and profit and loss account. Trading and profit and loss account is an expenditure that we incur in order to run our business on a daily basis. है ना? Done, everyone? Chaliye. Now let's move on to the next point. Okay, now let's continue further. In terms of the nature of deferred revenue, I told you about the deferred revenue as well. Now, what do you mean by the term deferred revenue? Deferred revenue, matlab the revenue expenditure that we are incurring today, but there's a postponement in the benefit that we are getting out of it. ठीक है ना? So when we talk about the deferred revenue expenditure, deferred revenue means the expenditure that you are doing just for one particular reason. That is, you are trying to increase your income. But what you are doing is you did a lot of expenditure today that will be benefiting you in tomorrow. That is how we define the specific area of deferred revenue expenditure. In this case, what do they do? The deferred revenue means it's a kind of revenue expenditure. For example, what I did is the specific area of I got a billboard. Okay, I got a billboard and I paid 5 lakh rupees for 5 years there. 5 lakh rupees for 5 years. But that means the particular rent for per year the billboard is what? 1 lakh rupees, 5 lakh divided by 5, and we're done with that specific area. So deferred revenue expenditure is what? The expenditure that you are doing just to get the benefit in upcoming future altogether. That is how we define the term deferred revenue. Okay, the benefit is basically something which you will be getting over the period of time. But how is it different from capital expenditure? Capital expenditure gives you an asset in your hand, or at least it's a physical asset, or I can say it can also be intangible assets. But in a deferred revenue, you don't get an asset. In this case, you have just paid before time for a particular thing, and that too not for 1 year, but for multiple years. ठीक है ना? The benefit of this expenditure will be long lasting, and but this is not fully written off in the actual year, because if I paid 5 lakh today, it's for 5 years, not for 1 year. So technically it should not be done this way. है ना? So overall, when we talk about the expenditures altogether, how does the term expenditure work, everyone? The term expenditure works in this way. It's a non-recurring expenditure. It is not done every single day. Or when we talk about capital expenditure, it is recurring. This is repeating. ठीक है? There's a repetition in it. Then deferred revenue expenditure, it's a non-recurring one. It is not done on a daily basis. Okay, so basically capital expenditure as well as the deferred revenue are something that are non-recurring in nature. So when we talk about the purpose of doing this is what? It contributes to the revenue earning capacity. It does, right? Capital expenditure, I could earn more because of the capital expenditure that I'm doing. है ना? And when we talk about the specific area of the revenue recurring is basically what? Recurring means something which is done again and again. है ना? And the particular purpose, the purpose, capital expenditure will increase our earnings, while revenue expenditure, if I buy a pen, it will not increase my revenue. I'll just have something, isn't it? And that's end. Then the benefit for certain years is there for deferred revenue. So deferred revenue is not very long lasting, but yeah, it is there for a specific period of time for sure, isn't it? Chaliye. Then the periods is basically more than one accounting year, and this is also for more than one accounting year. This is for just 1 year, this is for more than 1 year, and this is for more than multiple years, I would say. This is medium and this is long term. That is how we define the specific area. Done now? Chaliye. And then we talk about the specific area. That is revenue expenditure is within an accounting period. I buy a particular pen, it won't even last a month, everyone. If I'm working every single night, it won't even last a month. More than that is just a far cry. Done? Then comes effect on profit. Effect on profit of one thing is definitely more than the other. What difference does this make, everyone? The difference it makes is capital expenditure will increase profit for the future. If I buy a car today, that car is going to help me to earn more over the period of time. But what will not help me, everyone? A particular thing which will not help me is the specific area of the car expenditure that I'm doing. The car, if I the petrol expenditure, exactly, if I have to tell you, the petrol expenditure that I'm doing today will not increase my funding over the period of time. It would be just like I'm using the particular car right now. Done. This will increase the profit, while in this case revenue expenditure maintains the profit, and then deferred revenue is basically the benefit which you will get over a period of time, for 5 years, I would say, for 2 years, 3 years, whatever time period you are making that payment. That is how we define it, है ना? Done. Chaliye then, let's move on to the next question. Acha everyone, I hope you have already gone through the specific courses that we have come up with. Multiple batches for ABFM, AFM are coming up. So I hope you are going through all those batches, and if you haven't gone through that particular portion yet, you should definitely check it out. Okay? All those things are available on our website and our app for further details, so that you don't really have a problem there ki acha at one point of time you should be going for the classes or something. Let me just show you in between the particular session even. If you're planning to purchase our courses, what you need to do is you have to go on to our website. Look at this part. If you go on to our website, that is www.adda247.com. Go on to the specific area and then you just download the app. ठीक है, best is download the app because you get more benefits out of it. So when we're talking about JAIIB and CIB, then we have the specific area of this JAIIB May 2025 batch. See, increment batch is starting. So if you're planning to purchase our courses, then what you need to do is just click on our increment batch. click on buy now, use the code Y541 and then apply it. You will get it for 80% discount is going on, everyone. For 4039, you will get the entire batch. What do you include in this batch? You are getting the IE and IFS, AFM, RBWM as well as PPB. All these specific batches that you are getting, and that too at the minimum price. ठीक है, 80% discount is going on, which is way beneficial for you. If you are planning to purchase our courses, then this is the perfect time that when you should decide and pursue for our courses right away, right? Chaliye. Now moving on to the specific area further, accounting treatment for expenditures. When we are talking about capital expenditure, since we are buying an asset, it goes into the balance sheet. Anything that goes into the balance sheet has to be considered here, है ना? So that's one particular part further. And then we have the specific area of revenue expenditure. How do we define the specific revenue expenditure, everyone? Revenue expenditure means the expenditure that you are incurring for your daily revenue, matlab to earn income na. So basically this is basic expenditure that you are incurring. Okay. And then we talk about the specific area of deferred revenue. Deferred revenue is basically the amount, the portion that we have spent already. It would go into your P&L, and remaining part will go into your balance sheet. Okay, so whatever is still left will go into your balance sheet. Done? Chaliye then. We are done with this entire portion altogether. Now let's move on to the next point. We have talked about the expenditure, everyone. What about the receipts that we are making? When we talk about the specific receipts, how does it work? Receipts matlab the income that you are making today, है ना? So when we talk about this specific area, you're talking about the income that you are having. First is your capital receipts. Capital receipts matlab the money that you are receiving on the basis of what? Capital receipts is basically the money that you are receiving in your books because you are selling an asset. There's a difference in the entire portion. Capital receipts, when we define this specific area, it is basically non-recurring in nature. It is something which doesn't incur on a daily basis. ठीक है ना? When we define the specific area, it is basically what? Capital receipts are basically those receipts which can be defined as the receipts which we are looking forward to in terms of selling an asset. When we are selling an asset and then getting the income, we can define it here. Okay, so that is where we are at the same time when we make the money out of the liabilities even. Basically, if I'm getting a loan, it's also a part of the capital receipts there. Okay, so that can also be considered in this specific area. Now comes the next part further. That is revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure means the expenditure that you are doing in terms of what? Revenue expenditure means the expenditure that we are doing on the basis of on a daily basis. Receipts aate na, that is a part of your sales. So when you sell something, then you make revenue receipts. Okay, and since this is an income, it goes onto the credit side of your profit and loss account, and capital receipts are normally a part of your balance sheet only. Okay na? That's a specific rule that we follow in this case. Done? Acha. Now comes, what are the specific total? How do we define the specific area of capital versus revenue expenditure? Oh, just a moment. I think now it is visible. I was explaining this part further. Huh? So just have a look at this part. The capital, the receipt part. Receipt part matlab the money that you are receiving in your business altogether. Done? Saw the specific area altogether, everyone? Chaliye. Now we have talked about capital versus revenue expenditure. We were talking about the revenue receipts overall. How do we define the term revenue receipts? Revenue receipts matlab the money that you are receiving in your business altogether. So basically what do we have in this specific area is when we receive the money on the basis of what you are doing something in terms of your daily basis income is your revenue receipt, and the income that you are receiving on the basis of your revenue receipt, the money that you are receiving on the basis of some receipts that you have made and that would be subjected to future liability can be covered here. Okay. Now, what do you mean by future liability, everyone? Future liabilities can be the liabilities in a business which are based upon what? I have to pay a loan. That's something, a capital receipt that I've made right now, and this particular receipt would be paid off. Okay, na? Over the period of time, this money would be paid off for sure. Done. Chaliye ji. Then let's move on, everyone. We have a lot of things to discuss. On this basis, can you see that part? Nature of capital receipts is non-recurring. Revenue receipts is recurring. This is repetitive and this is non-repetitive. Size of the amount is generally substantial, because obviously if I say I just bought a car, everyone, buying a car is a big thing, isn't it? What is not a big thing is basically buying a pen. If you buy a pen, it won't be a very big thing. But when you say that I just bought a car, everybody would be like, oh, you bought a car. There's a difference in this area. Na? The biggest difference lies in this area only itself. ठीक है ना? Done? चलिए then. Once we are done with the specific area, then the next part arises is that accounting treatment. What is the accounting treatment of capital receipts? Capital receipts is the money that you are receiving in the business. For what reason, everyone? When we are receiving this money for a specific area of, when you receive funds for what? You are receiving the funds for, you're selling something, you know? So when you're trying to sell something at that point of time, that would be different, na? What's the difference between these specific areas altogether? Chaliye. When we talk about the presentation, capital receipts are a part of balance sheet, while revenue receipts or sales or commission received or any of those things would come to the, all of these would come to the capital, this would go to the balance sheet, because you're having something, you're using something in the business, na? ठीक है? चलिए. Now let's talk about this part further. Now when we are done with all these things, let's talk about a few of their basic examples. Look at this part, everyone. Examples of capital expenditure. Capital expenditure includes any asset that we purchase, building, plant, land, machinery, all that part. Long-term investments are basically those investments which are which are existing in the business on the basis of investment that we are making so that we can earn in future. Installation expenses, everyone. I bought a particular AC. If I keep the AC on the floor, will it function? है ना? It won't. That's one of the basic points. कि देखिए, if you get a particular I got a particular AC. The AC functions in a good way, but the point is, and the fact of the matter is, it won't work till the time I do not get it installed. So till the time it's not installed, my AC will not function properly. And this is where they say that when you have a particular asset, and when you talk about the specific installation cost, the installation cost is necessary to make that specific asset functionable. To start with the functioning of that asset, you really have to work harder. So when you have to do this part, then it is absolutely clear कि देखिए, when such a thing is happening, it is all clear कि then particular asset cannot be used. So any installation or expenditure which will make the asset ready to use, that's the core word, everyone. Anything which makes the asset ready to use. That is what you and I will define as a capital expenditure. ठीक है? Installation expenses on the purchase of an asset. Everyone, next point is the revenue expenditure. How do we define revenue expenditure? Revenue expenditure is that expenditure that we are incurring in the business because of what reason? Revenue expenditure are basically those expenditures which we are doing in order to just maintain our working in the business every single day. But everyone, I pay electricity expense. This will not increase my income, but yeah, this will make sure that I'm getting some money out of it. You know, that is how we define that part. For example, first is inventory purchase. Inventory purchases, you purchase goods. Then operating expenses are got operating expenses, admin expense, depreciation, any of these office expenses, selling and distribution, they are a part of revenue expenditure. The expenditure that you are doing on a daily basis to run your business. है ना? Then the next part, everyone, is subscriptions. Subscriptions that you pay for annually is a part of this. For example, if the organization is paying subscriptions for a certain functioning, for example, if organization says that we need Zoom, okay, for the meetings and all, we get a paid version of it. That is a part of revenue expenditure, the amount that they are paying in this case. Deferred revenue, it includes heavy amount which is spent on advertising. Deferred revenue, for example, I spent 5 lakh to buy that billboard. Major repairs, the cost incurred in terms of major repairs of the assets would exist. Then comes the specific area of examples. There is an asset sale, that would be a part of it. Okay, we are selling an asset. You sell a car, you sell a specific plot of land, it would be covered there. Then the specific area is investment sales. If you sell an investment, then that would also be covered in this case. Special income can also be the point. For example, if I give you 10 lakh rupees and say this particular 10 lakh can be used for so and so project only, it cannot be used anywhere else, then you'll be baffled ki, oh, this particular project is so exclusively kept. I'll say, yeah, this particular project cannot be used anywhere else. Okay, na? Then comes examples of revenue receipts. Revenue receipts means any receipts that we are making on what basis? The sales that we're making, regular income, commission received, rent received, discount received. It's all a part of regular income. Then we have normal business income. The money that you earn on a daily basis is basically normal business income. Okay? The amount that you're making in the due course of your business. Matlab, everyone, this is my business and whatever I earn from my business is my normal business income. Then revenue expenditure can be something which is repetitive in nature. It's done on a daily basis. At the same time, the benefit is for an entire year only. Wi-Fi expenditure will not even last for an entire year. It's just for 1 month. And again, I have to pay. Office expenses, admin expenses, selling, distribution, they're all a part of it. Then how do we define capital expenditure? Capital expenditure means the expenditure that we are doing in the business to extend our business, to have a stronger assets. So expenditure that are non-recurring in nature. Okay? Then its benefits extends to more than one accounting period. Obviously, if I buy a car, the benefit of it, depreciation, all the other expenditures, petrol expenditure, all those expenditures which are revenue in nature can be generated over it over a span of time. Depreciation, petrol expenses, service expenses, repair expenses, all these expenses are to be covered in the specific area of the revenue expenditure. While I just bought one thing, the car, and even the road tax that I'm paying, the specific area of insurance that I'm paying, it is for even 1 year. All those things exist because I have a capital expenditure. I bought a car, with that car came all these expenditures which I was supposed to do. Done, everyone? Chaliye. Now everyone, let's move on. This is for the purchase of long-term investments. Okay everyone, if we are done with this all part, then let's move on to the next point. Characteristics of deferred revenue. Deferred revenue matlab the expenditure which is basically done over a period of time. The cost of major repairs that we are doing, that is also part of it. That will increase the capacity of that asset. It's a deferred revenue. Okay. Then deferred revenue is something which is revenue receipts are recurring. So we are done with this part already, but it includes commission earned, discount earned, interest, and even the rent received. Anything which is normally in the due course of income that we receive. Then Capital expenditures again are capital receipts are non-recurring in nature. You don't sell a particular car every now and then. You don't buy a specific car every now and then. And even the amount which you receive for the entire money would be considered here. If it is given an installment, it doesn't mean it's not capital. Then even it's capital expenditure. ठीक है ना? Then there are certain things called outstanding expenses. If the expense is going to benefit you in less than 1 year, tab to it's outstanding expenses. It's a normal profit and loss account thing. Then prepaid expenses, if you pay in time, that is also covered to be the specific area of the normal expenditure. Sometimes we just pay in advance, sometimes we don't. ठीक है ना? Then accrued income. The income is basically the specific area where we say that in the upcoming future we will receive this much amount of money. That amount is due. Done, everyone? Now we are done with the pre-received income and everything else. So just let me know if you're done with this. Now the next part. चलिए. The expenditures can be capital and revenue expenditure. Capital is basically what? Productive. Revenue, regular. Here comes the first question. According to dash concept, all expenses incurred are matched with the revenue earned during the year. Everyone, when do you match these things? How do you define that matching part? Matching means anything belongs to this year is basically associated with something that is belonging to this year itself. है ना? That is how we define it, na everyone? Any expenditure that we are recording in case of matching concept. Matching concept says everything should be recorded in the business when it is matching. On what basis? If I do a specific expense on land today and the other party says that nahi, we will make the specific payments later. This is what? Done. In this case, when we define the specific area altogether, it is basically the principle which says write all the expenses of the organization, write all the incomes, and then what you do is income minus expenditure. Then what are you left with? The specific area of profit or loss. Done, everyone. In this case, the correct answer is basically your matching concept. Prudence concept says that whatever happens, we don't we don't really look forward towards prudence's long-term working. We don't lose that long-term working of the organization. Okay, in terms of anticipate the losses but not profits is a part of it. Materiality means anything which is super important for the business should not be missed. Then the answer is matching. Matching principle says expenditures for this year are to be equated with the incomes of this year. Next part, the purchase of goods for resale is a revenue expenditure. Goods purchased for resale is a transaction that arises in the normal due course of a business. Both assertion and reasoning are right. Both are wrong. Then assertion is right but the reason is false. And then assertion is false but the reason is true. Everyone, what's going to be the correct answer? Assertion and reasoning. In terms of assertion and reasoning, the first point says the purchase of goods for resale. That can be a part of it. If my business is of furniture, I buy furniture, then I sell it further. That's true. Goods purchased for resale is a transaction that arises on normal due course. I buy this thing not to use in my business, but to sell it further. So I think both the assertion and the reasoning are correct. Done, everyone? Chaliye then. Let's move on to the next point further. The next point says match the following. When we have furniture sold, furniture purchase, newspaper purchase, and newspaper sold. Everyone, furniture sold. Furniture, if nothing is specified, this is my asset. So when I sell an asset, I generate income. So that is your capital receipt. Because when you sell a furniture, then you have an asset purchase or sale, na? Which is a capital receipt. So furniture sold is a capital receipt. When you sell, you get money. And when you buy furniture, you lose money. It's a capital expenditure. Done. Then the next part is your newspaper purchase and newspaper sold. Newspaper purchase, when you purchase a newspaper, it's a revenue expenditure. And when you sell a newspaper, it's a revenue income. Done, everyone? So in this case, what's going to be the answer? This is for first, it is going to be 3. 1, 3, there are 2 points there. For then the expenditure or related to furniture, that is purchase, that is a capital expenditure. So capital expenditure matlab second is 1. 2 is also 1. This is also correct in both. Whereas newspaper purchase is a revenue expenditure, because we buy the asset, buy normal things, and then we use it in the business. It is 4 and the last is 2. So I think I'll go for C there. Everyone, what's your answer? My answer comes out to be C. Done? Chaliye. Now moving on to the next point, everyone. Done, everyone. Now let's move on to the next point further. The next point in this question says that which of the following is false? Overhauling expenditure for the purchase of second-hand furniture or second-hand machinery are capital expenditure. Overall expenditure makes sure that the particular asset's life is increased further. So it can be true. Rupees 2000 is paid on insurance premium for the next year. If it is paid for the next year in this specific year, then it is a part of prepaid expenses, which should be no. In this case, the insurance claim received on account of goods destroyed in the fire accident be treated as a revenue expenditure or not? Done. Then the next part is insurance claim received on the account of destroyed of a particular asset. Goods are basically what? Goods are basically something that you use in the business on a daily basis, and you lost that particular thing because you are having a problem there. Na? So revenue loss has been booked, so you will also book revenue receipt. The difference between the two. Na? And the last part is there, there are 3 types of receipts: capital receipts, revenue receipts, and deferred revenue. Done? Done, everybody? Now we are done with this specific area altogether as well. Now let's move on to the next part. The answer is basically 2, 3 and 4 are basically something which I would say this is wrong. Insurance claim that you are receiving is basically by selling an asset. So it's a capital receipts. And there are 3 types of receipts overall. We don't say there are 3 types of receipts overall. There are overall 2 types of receipts only. Done? Which of the following is an example of a capital expenditure, everyone? Salary paid to the employees, purchase of land for the office premises, then repair of machinery or stationery expenditure. Whenever we do the repair of glasses, at that point of time, one of the specific areas, that is, see, in terms of your working there, I don't think I look forward towards a specific area of an employee being an asset. Right? Till now, we are not considered as an asset. It is a vital part of the business. So salary paid to employees is not a capital expenditure. It is because of a specific reason overall. Done, everybody? So in this case, capital expenditure means the expenditure that you're doing for a specific asset. And which particular asset is you bought? In this case, it's your land. Purchase of land is covered here. So answer is purchase of land. Done. Chaliye. Then this is a specific area where I would like to end the particular session. But before I end my session, everyone, I hope you have gone through the specific area of our increment batch. And pata hai, abhi to our JIB CIB sale is also going on. In this specific sale, what you will get the entire JIB in terms of one particular JIB CIB Mahapack 2.0. This is for the entire JIB, entire CIB. I think this is one of the best things if you're planning to go for JIB back to back with CIB. This is for 12 and this is for 24 months, everyone. Even if I take for 1 year, even what would be the price? Currently, I've just showed you one particular batch. What's the cost of one batch? And if we talk about both of these together, you just have to pay 7,500. I think it's a very good amount to pay because in this case, you get the entire JIB, you get the entire CIB. And if you're preparing, then you should be of this view only. In 6 months, you get done with your JIB. In the next 6 months, you get done with your CIB. And even if you buy for 1 year and then you are not able to study properly or you couldn't do that, you can extend your validity along with this as well by just paying a specific amount. But you get the entire JIB and CIB at once. In terms of JIB, you get bilingual English medium, both the classes. You also get the test series as well as the ebooks, and along with this you also get the link for our marathons as well. Everything would be available to you within your specific examination itself. This will also include our revision batches. Along with revision batches, there's one more thing that it would include. Other than revision batches, it will also include the specific area of our case study batches or any numerical batches that we are coming up. So please make sure you are staying within the organization's link there by being a part of our YouTube channel, Telegram channels, as well as our app. So please be there in the sessions, everyone. And thank you so much for being there. Don't